Hey, good morning. It is Sunday, which means we're not officially working, but Rick got some audio goodies and we wanted to finally get a chance to install them in his mini truck. So he's on his way over. Thing doesn't have a heater, so hopefully he bundled up, but I'm gonna get the heater going in the shop here and got the cars pulled out. Let's get started on some making some noise. So Rick's truck is a 99 GMC Sonoma, same as S10 essentially. It's an extended cab. So the plan is to put this prefab box behind the seats. From measuring, it looks like it's gonna have to be with the subs firing upward to not have to push the seats forward. The truck's body dropped, traditional body drop, so the floor is already raised, so we don't wanna compromise the seating position any more than that. And I believe this box came as a kit with this amplifier and the wiring kit. Looking through the wiring kit, looks like everything we need to wire the sub amp is there, but I picked up an extra pair of RCAs, and we've got this little 4-channel tar amps amplifier for the mids and highs. He's got some 4x6s to go up in the dash, some 6.5s to go in the doors, and we picked up a bunch of speaker wire. We're just going to run all new speaker wire through the thing. And his deck only has one RCA pre-out, so we're actually going to use this MVX. Reviews on Amazon looked all right on it. I know it's not top audiophile grade to do it this way, but we're going to take the speaker outputs, convert them to line outputs, so we can drive that 4-channel amp. So first step, once he gets here, is got to take the interior apart, pull carpet, pull seats, and make room and see how everything's going to fit. So last I heard, he was almost here, so just wanted to give a little quick intro of the parts we'll be putting in, and let's see how it goes. Hey, he actually made it. Let's see if he just pulls in like he owns the joint. Bet he does. He sees that heater. There it is. Ragtop open even. He's a brave soul. Nice. Hey, good morning.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe you should have kept the ragtop shut.
It wouldn't stay closed.
We'll let Rick warm up a little bit and then we'll get started on this thing. Alright, so here's what we're starting with. We've got some, what are those, Sonys? Those actually aren't bad. Some little Sony 6.5s in the doors. There's nothing up in the dash currently, right? Just empty holes. Love it. It's got this Kenwood deck in the center console. And then another project for another day is we're going to try and get that screen communicating with that so we can play stuff on there as well. But for now, pull all this out and get started. Alright, seats out, center console's out. We're going to do a quick vacuum of this carpet, and then it's actually glued down, so we're just going to pull back along this side to run the power wire and everything. Deck's in the middle, so we'll just run signal wires down the middle. That'll keep it separated from the power wire. That helps with engine noise or whine. So Rick's going to work on pulling door speakers. I'll vacuum this carpet real quick, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, here's where we're at. So we've got 4 speaker wires coming out of the dash. 2 of them go to the door speakers. We're still going to terminate those. 2 of them come up out of the dash for the dash speakers. We're going to terminate those. Those wires will all connect to this 4-channel amp. That 4-channel amp is going to connect to this line output converter with RCAs. So that's the RCA inputs for this amp. This is the plug that goes into the back of the deck for power and all the speaker outputs that we'll be converting using the line converter. And then this is Rick's switch box wiring right here out to his valves. And that's going to share the power source from the battery as well. And we're adding this little 2-channel remote sensor that will also tie into the switch box to allow him to have a keychain remote to remotely lift and drop the air suspension on the truck. We ran a new power lead from the battery with a fuse to power this amp. This one doesn't need a whole lot, so this 8-gauge wire is going to work out fine. And then we ran the big power, the 4-gauge, for the subwoofer amp from the battery as well. So all we need to do now is just find a way to cleanly mount all of this stuff inside the console, get the speakers hooked up real quick, and then we'll give everything a test run before we start messing with the subwoofer connections. So let's start with that and see where it gets us. All right, pardon the mess. I swear this is all gonna get tied up and look good eventually. So we did just a quick dry run. We've got all of our powers, our power connections going through this little insulated mounting post. So you've got just one central power location. So all the constant powers come off of there for the switch box, for the remote for the switch box, for the line level converter, and for this little 4-channel amp. They all go up to the main battery cutoff switch and are fused. Then the main power goes back here, and then underneath the carpet we put a nutsert right into the sheet metal of the floor. So the ground for this amp and for this amp are bolted in with a 5/16 bolt direct to bare metal. Other than that, we ran the speaker wires up into the doors and dash, and then the deck plugs in right there. So basically all we need to do, we did a quick little dry run, made sure everything powered on, no fuses blew, no smoke came out of anywhere. So now next step is we've got the speaker box mostly in position, and what we're going to do is just make some spacers that mount it solidly, give it some feet to sit against the floor and over the hump there and nice and tight against the back wall of the cab. Once that's done, we'll screw those in through the speaker holes, and then that'll be solid, and we can wire up the subwoofer amp and put the subs in. Well, this is what happens when you try to stuff 10 pounds of crap into a 5-pound box, right? It's all safe, it's all fused, it's all mounted securely enough. We've got the that junction post right there for all the power. We've got all our grounds secured, decks in, converters in, amplifiers in, remotes in. So not really any way we could have tied anything up any more than that. Plus he's buying a new deck soon, and that's going to get rid of that line converter. So we'll be under here redoing this soon enough. These are the air lines for his pressure gauges for the air ride in the dash. This is the line to his tank pressure gauge that's up in the console. These are switch box wires coming out the back because he runs them behind the seat. So I think we're ready to tip this up, get it in place, and turn on some music. All right, Rick's putting the seats back in, console's up. As you can hear, probably gonna get a copyright strike. But it's all in. Probably gonna end up building some sort of fascia to kind of finish off the box behind the seats. Give a way to hide the amp, hide some wiring. Maybe build a new console, I don't know. Still gotta get the dash bezel figured out, mount the gauges better, and get the screen working. but this is shaping up. Give us a few minutes, get everything bolted down. Rick, a few minutes to bolt everything down, and we'll play this thing. So one kind of cool thing we added is this remote. So I'll post a link. I found this on Amazon a while back. I want to say it was like 20 bucks, something like that. The AVS 7-switch box has a wire that you can hook a relay and a remote to. It needs to be a powered output. So holler at me if you have questions. I can send you diagrams or whatever. But basically now we can have an up and a down remotely. So up and down. So that's kind of handy if you're like loading on a trailer or whatever and want to strap everything down and lay it out after you're done strapping, but don't want to climb back into the car. So that's kind of neat. Or just, you know, walking away from it and laying it out and scaring people. It's always fun too. So I thought that was neat. Like I said, I'll post a link to these guys or something similar in the down in the description. All right, I think that's about it for today. I'm going to turn on some beats so you can see these things moving, but I'm probably going to have to mute the music to keep this thing from getting flagged and muted. But we've got, for now, everything's just on a thumb drive. Not CD, not aux, not standby. Come on now. There we go. Let's go to that.
Relative to body size of any male on the planet. Bitch, I got money, and I'm so good looking. You can learn something from me. You're old, I knew.
That should be enough. But yeah, that should be a lot more fun to drive in now. Like I said, work in progress, but one piece at a time, you get a project done. Coming up soon, we'll be cutting the back of this thing off and redoing the entire back half. And he's going to get some body and paint work done. Probably throw a new sliding rag in there, a couple other little details, and then this thing's ready to enjoy. So yeah, that was a fun day. You got here, what, about 10 something?
Cold 30.
So, yeah, it's nice now.
Yeah.
I'm in a t-shirt. It's almost 5, so not a bad way to spend part of the day. And that's including a nice little Taco Bell break. So yeah, on to the next project. We got to get back on the Cadillac tomorrow and the other Cadillac tomorrow and making parts and all that. But this was a fun little distraction. Until next time.